Did you know that Maria Sinukuan is not just a character in Filipino folklore, but a symbol of strength and resilience in the face of adversity? On the majestic slopes of Mount Arayat in the Philippines, there lives a legendary spirit, a guardian of the mountain, known as Maria Sinukuan. Her name is whispered among the locals, who tell tales of her beauty, wisdom, and mysterious powers. This is the story of how she came to be the protector of Mount Arayat, and how her legacy continues to inspire those who live in her shadow. Long ago, when the world was still young and the islands of the Philippines were just beginning to take shape, Mount Arayat stood as one of the tallest and most beautiful peaks in the land. The mountain was covered in lush forests, and its rivers ran crystal clear. It was said that the mountain was a sacred place, watched over by a powerful Diwata, a spirit of nature, named Maria Sinukuan. Maria Sinukuan was not like other spirits. She was said to be as beautiful as the dawn, with long, flowing hair that shimmered like the sun's rays. Her eyes were as deep and mysterious as the night sky, and her voice was as gentle as the wind that whispered through the trees. But it was her wisdom and power that set her apart. She could command the elements, heal the sick, and even control the very life of the mountain itself. The people who lived near Mount Arayat revered Maria Sinukuan as their protector. They would leave offerings of fruits and flowers at the base of the mountain, hoping to earn her favor. In return, Maria Sinukuan would bless their lands with bountiful harvests, their rivers with an abundance of fish, and their lives with peace and prosperity. For many years, the people lived in harmony with Maria Sinukuan, and the mountain flourished. But one day, a group of foreign invaders arrived on the shores of the island. These invaders were greedy and cruel, seeking to conquer the land and take its riches for themselves. They heard tales of the abundant resources on Mount Arayat and decided to claim them. The invaders began to chop down the trees, mine the earth, and pollute the rivers. The people were powerless to stop them, and they feared that Maria Sinukuan would abandon them in their time of need. But the spirit of the mountain did not flee. Instead, she grew angry at the destruction of her home and the suffering of her people. Maria Sinukuan appeared before the invaders, her form towering over them, her eyes blazing with fury. She warned them to leave the mountain and never return. But the invaders laughed at her, thinking her to be nothing more than a myth. They continued their plundering, confident that no spirit could stand in their way. Seeing that her warnings were ignored, Maria Sinukuan decided to take matters into her own hands. She called upon the forces of nature to defend the mountain. The skies darkened, and a fierce storm began to brew. The wind howled through the trees, and the earth trembled beneath the feet of the invaders. Suddenly, the rivers overflowed, and the mountain itself seemed to come alive. Trees uprooted themselves and blocked the paths. Boulders rolled down the slopes, and the very air seemed to turn against the invaders. They tried to flee, but it was too late. Maria Sinukuan's wrath was swift and merciless. The invaders were swept away by the floodwaters, buried by landslides, and lost in the dense forests. When the storm finally passed, the mountain was silent once more. The people, who had watched in awe from a distance, knew that Maria Sinukuan had saved them. They offered prayers of thanks and vowed never to let greed and destruction touch the sacred mountain again. From that day on, Maria Sinukuan's legend grew even stronger. She continued to watch over Mount Arayat, ensuring that it remained a place of beauty and abundance. The people continued to honor her with offerings and lived in harmony with the land. Even today, the legend of Maria Sinukuan is told in hushed tones by the fireside. Travelers who venture into the forests of Mount Arayat are reminded to respect the land and its guardian spirit. It is said that if you listen carefully, you can still hear Maria Sinukuan's voice in the wind, reminding all who hear it of the power of nature and the importance of protecting it. And so, the legend of Maria Sinukuan lives on, a timeless tale of beauty, power, and the enduring bond between the spirit of the land and its people.